welcome back to another SwansCast match preview. This week, Swansea head up to Huddersfield away, and I am joined by Kosi from And He Takes That Chance. So welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Nice to be here.
I know it's your first time on, but I can't remember who it was I was on last time, but we've had one of you before. So welcome back to the channel, I guess, for all of you. Obviously, we're going to chat about the upcoming game. I think there's maybe a little bit more at stake currently based on how many games is left for yourselves. I think we maybe have got ourselves just over the line based on our last two games. Wasn't necessarily looking comfortable until late. So, it's easier for me to talk about the situation now with a bit of breathing space. But I guess the place to start is obviously Huddersfield find themselves in 22nd place. So what's happened this season, and how do you find yourself in that position?
Wow, I think you Swans fans saw our problems at first hand. I came down to the game. I'm going to say the Vets. It shows my age, doesn't it? But the Liberty in it was November, wasn't it? Or was it early December? But yeah,
Michael
it was
Duff's
unbelievable.
last game.
It was unbelievable. I think you had 82% possession in that first half. I think in the game we were 70-odd possession. And to be fair, Duff got sacked after that game. So, but amazingly, we took the lead with only the time we ever got into your box. And I think it might have been an own goal, to be honest with you. I could be wrong. And then basically after that, we just sat back for pretty much 90 minutes and we got what we deserved. I think when Cabango got the goal in 90 minutes, and I think another 10 minutes, you'd have probably won that. And we've drawn, I think it's 17 games, maybe even 18. And that's the crux of the problem. Honestly, it's just been a disaster from start. We up it into finish, but it's not looking good if we're being honest. I mean, who else would sack Neil Warnock after 8 games when he's done what he's done? I think all of us at Huddersfield were just hoping for a quiet season, a season where we just, the new owner came in, we want him to sort the club out, get used to the kind of the wheelings and dealings, and who better to have a safe pair of fans for Neil Warnock. But unfortunately, it looked like they had a bit of fallout. Sounds like Warnock didn't get some of his targets, and I'm afraid our owner's very active on, do we call it Twitter anymore, X, and he kind of, I think Capitals after one of the games, I think it finished about 10 seconds after, we were not good enough in Capitals. And then Warnock comes in the next press conference and says, I'll tell you what's not good enough. When I see our targets going, blah, 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 this place and that place and stuff. And from then it was a fractured relationship. And Warnock, it was kind of announced as separation, amicably, but I don't believe that at all. And Warnock was gone. Kind of the next game, we got a draw with Stoke. And then the biggest disaster, and probably the reason why we'll end up in League One, Darren Moore, horrible appointment. Bit like probably Michael Duff for you and that as well. I think, it's quite incredible to me that people can interview Darren Moore, and so they've obviously made the decision to part with Neil Warnock because I think the plan was to keep him at least till Christmas or maybe till the end of the season. But so you've interviewed Darren Moore. He's not the most, let's say, energetic in front of a camera, but I don't like to kind of nail some for the characters. We're all different, aren't we? But I can't believe that you could sit, interviewing Darren Moore and just think he is your man. He is your man to replace Neil Warnock. It's incredible. And one of the big things he was brought in for, which was laughable, really, because there was no evidence for it, was, for playing, we wanted to play good attacking football. And obviously everyone wants that, don't they? But Neil Warnock's did a great job. It obviously was a great escape. I think we won 6 out of the last 9. And to be honest, the fans love him at Huddersfield. So it'd have been an easy sell. People wouldn't have been too fussed that we weren't playing like Guardiola-style football. But yeah, obviously Darren Moore come in and pretty much disaster, really. And again, so many errors from the club. We didn't really get anyone in August. The owner came in really late, so it kind of screwed us a little bit on the transfer window. So we went into the season without any strikers at all, which was a disaster. Obviously, a squad last season that only just stayed up. We had a couple of good loan players we didn't get back. Danny Ward, obviously, you know him from the parish down the road, but he had one of his rare good seasons. You don't get that much. He's always injured, and this season he's always been injured again. And there were so many issues. So the owner come in, to be fair to him, in January, which again just seemed really odd when he gave Darren Moore and the director of football, they brought in 4 or 5 players and I think 2 or 3 of them strikers. But then Darren Moore were kind of bombed out just before the end of Jan. So again, another bizarre thing where you're thinking, well, hang on a minute, this guy who's bringing the transfer director of football, is it Darren Moore? And you've made the decision to move along and. Obviously we've ended up going German now, Andre Brattenreiter. But I think we've had 4 or 5 managers, including caretakers, in the season. And to be honest, mate, it's when you look at your relegation teams in any country, really, there's always the same traits, isn't there? sacking manager after manager. We'll go this style, we'll go that style. And yeah, it's been a disaster, really, mate. And never really have we got our heads above water much. We've honestly, it's just the talk's really kind of cheap, isn't it, in football? And we've seen, obviously when we've gone to Leicester, and to be fair, we drew with Leeds at home. It was a bit of a false dawn. It looks we got a good draw. Sorba Thomas got sent off, and sorry, not Sorba Thomas. Matty Pearson got sent off. And then pretty much Leeds done battered the second half and got a goal. But to be honest, I think we might have scraped it, 1-0. And the week before, we'd won at Watford. So it looked like we had that new manager bounce. But then after that, pretty much nothing really. But you know what, mate? You can only work with the tools that he's got. And I'm sick and tired of Huddersfield fans going on about, we have this lot. We've only won twice. We've only won once 2 games in a row. It's an incredible stat, and we're going to have to win both these home games to have any chance of staying up. So we won at West Brom, which was quite a shock result. Warnock got the wool over Corberan, which was a good one. And then we beat Rotherham, but I'd like to say, well, everyone beats Rotherham, but we didn't win away, and that could be absolutely costly for us. So the evidence is stacked against it. So there's huge pressure for us on Saturday. And you know what? It's little things like you see, obviously, I don't know if you saw the Bristol penalty last week. You can get your violin out all you want, mate, but when you've had 46 games, numerous managers, different players in and out, and the decisions we've made as a club, it deserves to be in League One, mate. And I've got to be honest, that seems the way it's heading.
Well, yeah, you mentioned maybe you need to get it done in the next 2 home games. You've got Swansea, of course, this weekend, Birmingham, another competitor in that sort of part of the table, and then you finish in away to Ipswich, probably not the best one to finish on, based on the fact that they could be needing to win that to win the league, and you might be needing to win that to stay in the league. I mean, I hope Sky have picked it up. That's all I can say. But
yeah, they will.
That's a crazy finale potentially.
Yeah, you can't get your violin out too much. I mean, you're sitting there. Obviously, obviously the Leeds don't get on, but you sat there, and Leeds obviously had all the possession and everything, and then Sammy Smodics does what he does, and they nick the goal. But I'm sick of hearing people, that result didn't go well. How many? The results have gone well for us so much this season. We've won 9 games, man. Yeah. 9 games.
Well, I was going to ask about that as well. So obviously, like, having Ipswich last game, difficult one. Next to perhaps a winnable. But looking at your record, 9 wins all season, a lot of draws. So it's clear to see where the issue, potentially the defence is, everyone can obviously improve. And I can see he's conceded quite a few goals. But maybe the goal scoring to try and convert some of them goals in them draws into wins. Would you say that's one of the areas that potentially is one of the reasons why you might find yourself where you are? And you mentioned the lack of strikers from the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. It took us till January to get strikers in, and the guy who's come up, but he's been injured for 2 months. Reece Sealey, a guy we got from Watford. Again, when we get someone in, they get injured. It was quite unbelievable, really. We got another guy, Radulovic, but he's a Finnish guy. It's going to take time. You know what the championship's like. You have your foreign players, don't you? And some you've seen sinkers, but they need time, don't they? And that as well. And we need instant results. And obviously, Danny Ward, who's kind of proven striker and stuff, Warnock got such a chew out of him last season. He probably played him when he wasn't fit, and we're seeing what we're seeing this year's not playing there. But I would argue that our defence were quite good, but that recently, mate, it's gone a bit to pot. And I was just thinking, mentally,
the managerial changes so often maybe can affect that. If you set up a certain way at the start, having a couple of different ideas through the season can affect the defence, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's something, we've lost by 4 goals. We've conceded 4 goals 8 times, and it'd be a club record if we lose another game by conceding 4 goals or more, which obviously when you think about Ipswich to come, and I know you can pre-score, so who knows, but that says it all. But you know what? There's times when I've thought this season, really, the defence is kind of the least of our problems. But you look now, I think we've conceded 70-odd goals. But yeah, honestly, at the start of the season, I really were worried about the squad and kind of where we're going. But obviously, when you had Neil Warnock, you always thought, it don't matter who we sign or what we get in, we'll be all right under Neil Warnock. And obviously, many Huddersfield fans, if they do go, will point to that moment. But there's a lot of sympathy for the managers that have come in. Brighton Wrighter's no mug. Not a lot of you guys will know about him, but he won a top league title in Switzerland, which you might not think, wow, big deal. But FC Zurich, if you think like young boys in Bern, I think they won the league for the last 6 years. And I think FC Zurich were like 8th, so they were nowhere. And then the season after, he won the league. So to do that, pretty incredible achievement. And then he's got teams from Bundesliga 2 into the top flight. The thing that I like about him is that he's very, I think he knows what the problems are, but what can he do? The window's shut. He had no window to work with. He must be appalled at some of the collapses that we've had. And without really bagging the players, it's like you hear his interviews and he seems like a very diplomatic man. I'm hoping, and I hope Huddersfield fans will say the same, that if we do go down, which is a strong possibility, I think we're odds on now, that he's the man to turn it around, because he knows what we need to do. And part of you think, will he stay around? And that's a question. But then I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, mate. When you came, I think we were 4 points off the relegation zone, so he always knew we could go down. But there's a lot of question marks over the club. But it's the problem we've got, mate, is like Birmingham have got Rotherham away on Saturday. Obviously, today's news about Steve Evans, you cling to anything, don't you, when you're down at the bottom? And you're just wondering, aren't you? Big Steve, obviously, not much time working on the training ground, but a team that not bothered, a lot of players out of contract. And maybe I'm clutching you.
Look, we had Rotherham last week, and it was a really tough game. It took us an own goal to beat them. So it's not to say that they won't give Birmingham a game, and it's not a bit of hope for yourselves. But I think like the only thing you can do as a club is you've got to focus on what you can do, because you need to win ultimately as well. So it doesn't matter what the other results are at this point.
Yeah, I think that the other thing as well, mate, and it's been like for the last few seasons, I'd say, given when Carlos Corberán got us miraculous nearly into the Premier League, but it's all counter-attacking football, mate, so we know that you like to have the ball, and maybe that might play to our strengths, but it's like, it just wears you down, mate, season after season watching counter-attacking football, but we haven't got players to do anything else, and mentally, I just wondered last week, that penalty at Bristol City, although to be fair, we played really Preston, we let in 3 goals in 8 minutes and lost 4-1. It was incredible fold on to Tuesday, and I'm thinking, how can he pick them up for Saturday? We played really well at Bristol, and we were proper done over with that penalty, but so you're thinking, is it, and how can they pick themselves up? But we seem to do that, as in regards to playing okay, but you've got to win. It's as simple as that, mate. And the thing is, I think Birmingham, obviously, they'll be, if we can win, and obviously Birmingham beat Rotherham, then you're thinking they'll come for a draw next week. It's asking a lot now, but we've had all the fixtures, we've had all the chances to get ourselves out of the mess. So
it's got to turn up now. It's the last chance saloon, whether it's what matters, and maybe a different game plan.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about quickly. I know we got to wrap up soon, but the style of play. Then, do you expect to see something different this weekend against Swansea? Now, knowing what you need to get out of this game, or what do you think we're going to see on the pitch from Huddersfield?
Yeah, I'd love to say we'd see a little bit different, but he tried a little bit different at Preston, and we kind of took off a holding midfielder, put a couple of strikers on, and when we were chasing the game at 2-1, we ended up losing 4-1. But I think he's not a mug, he's Andre Brighton, right? He knows we haven't got the players to come at you. So I do think, anyone Huddersfield fans who, we know we need to win, but anyone who thinks we're just going to go gung-ho, we just not got them players to do it, mate. And we're relying so much on Sorba Thomas, as you probably know, mate. I think we'd have been in Rotherham's position, to be honest, without him. The number of assists he's got is incredible. And I think trouble is when everything revolves around one man, it's a bit awkward. But I think the question is more about what you're going to do. I mean, obviously you've had 2 good home wins, 2 clean sheets, if I'm right in saying so. But again, the motivation, I know you do wonder about footballers, but it's I'm more concerned about what we can do than how you kind of get there, and that as well. How you kind of do it. But it's weird, isn't it, when you're playing in these games? I remember going to Bristol City a few years ago, and we relegated them, and we had nothing to play for, and you're thinking they've got to come at us and blah blah blah. A few years ago now, and they went in and we beat them, and we played really well. You're just thinking, where's this freedom come from now all of a sudden? And we've never done this before, so it does worry me a lot. I think we might get the job done, but it's
we've had a bad season. We've had pressure for a long time, and we've been hovering just above the danger zone for quite some time. There's always been maybe more of a comfortable cushion for us than yourselves, even if it's only been 2 points in some occasions. But now I think that's gone. Maybe there'll be a weight lifted. I'm not sure. I would expect to see perhaps similar to what we saw in the earlier game this season, even though the managers are different, where we're going to get a lot of the ball, because we are more focused actually now on keeping the ball than we were under Michael Duff. Right. And I'm more intrigued to see how you will perhaps defend that, sit back, and soak it up, and then hit us on the break, because we are vulnerable. We do have a lot of weaknesses, and we are definitely suspect not keeping a clean sheet, even if we have in the 2 previous games. Rotherham was by all means not a straightforward game. It's easy 1-0 win on paper, but it wasn't. We didn't play well at all. So I wouldn't write your chances off just yet.
No, we're set piece. Honestly, mate, if it's not for a set piece, we don't get many goals. So
we can see set pieces nearly every week. So there we go. There's one.
That gives us a bit of heart in that as well. The one thing as well is there's going to be a lot of tension in the stadium. There's a big push this week from the club, the PR, the players are coming on. Videos on Twitter, Facebook. Get yourself down to the stadium. I think it's kids at £1 and that as well. But it's the talking has to stop. I honestly think a draw kind of puts it down. Maybe if we win and Birmingham win, I think the problem you've got, you look at the other teams above it, Plymouth, Stoke have got Plymouth, and you're looking at seeing where your favour's going to come from. But anyway, mate, it's like 46 games. We know we've kind of underperformed, but it's it's a bit of a grim time in that as well. It's I think I'd pick easier games to play than you, to be honest, mate. But I just hope that you're on the beach, as they say. But I'm not so
maybe we could well be. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Obviously Huddersfield on 44, Birmingham are on 45 in 21st, Stoke on 47, and QPR on 47 are kind of all the ones I think at play here. I mean, Plymouth could get brought back into it if Stoke beat them. I think then like either one of those is hoping for a win to kind of clear it, and the other one could still be in trouble. But I think that's perhaps who's at play here now, and obviously Sheffield Wednesday hoping as well that they can crawl their way out and save. So there's still a lot to play for in the last 3 games. I will say, I know you've got to shoot off, so I will say thank you very much for your time.
Just before I go, Luke, I'm just saying, I remember we do kind of a Yorkshire, it's kind of ironic really, we do like a Yorkshire Rivals podcast, and obviously Rotherham have gone, Sheffield Wednesday could be going, but I remember when you were playing at Hillsborough, I think it was Good Friday, wasn't it? And they were cock-a-hoop thinking, you had nothing to play for, and they'd win because they were on a bit of a roll. And I said you'd get a result there, mate, and obviously you got a draw, so it's, I think, message to Huddersfield fans.
We played very bad.
But you've got some good players, mate, though, so it's like, we've got to turn up, and then we haven't done that much this year, so it's all on us, really, I think.
I think that's fair. I think if you turn up, like, as I said earlier, for your squad and for your team, like they've got to just focus as what can we do. The results in your own hands. You can't at this stage rely on anyone, and maybe you get lucky in the fact that we don't really have anything to play for anymore. The biggest thing we can shout about is getting enough points to finish ahead of Cardiff, which again, that's a minimalistic thing to think about this stage of the season, as it's not really important in the grand scheme of things compared to yourselves. So that's the way I think you guys got to approach the game. And
we've got a good record against us if you believe in home. And at home, I was looking at it, I think, but I'm never a big believer on that as well. But it'll be interesting, won't it? I mean, little things really. I mean, imagine you'll be stopping over Friday night, and it's little things people do differently when they're kind of nothing to play for. They travel up on the day, but obviously it's a long trek. But I think you'll be taking it deadly seriously and that as well. And I suppose, have you got a lot of players out of contract? So can you give us a bit of art? Or
there's quite a few players out of contract in the summer. A couple of talks underway, a couple that we haven't heard much about. Obviously, with Luke Williams coming in January, we're expecting a bit of a change in the summer with the squad, and I'm not really sure how much to expect. We haven't heard a lot, but there's definitely going to be stuff. I would say there's about five loan players that are expected to go back, maybe 5, 6. I can't remember the precise number. We haven't seen a few of them that much in the last couple of months, and contracts as well, 4 or 5 of them as well, 4, 5, 6 of them that are up. So a lot of change potentially in the summer. A lot of players potentially either already know they're not going to be here next season and perhaps don't care, or the other way around where they're playing for the contract. But it's difficult to gauge where each one is. But we haven't been amazing lately. So I will say, you turn up and you try and attack the game and go for a win, you definitely will have your chances. So that's just what I would suggest. And like, as much as we want to win every game, I do hope, fingers crossed for you, that you can perhaps it's never nice to relegate another team, is it, unless it's your rivals. So
But I hope to see you again next season, Luke. But obviously,
they can find your content, your channel. Where's your stuff online?
It's a bit of a weird one. So on X or Twitter, it's called @takes that chance. We couldn't get the handle, which is a bit disappointing. But and it's www. I think it's takesthatchance.com and that as well. And win, lose or draw, we'll be reviewing the game Sunday night, and hopefully results have gone our favour. But it could be it could be a bit of a shoot. Don't you love football? This is why we're in it, mate. Ups and downs.
Well, you never know. There's always drama at the end of the season, isn't there? Maybe we'll be the ones that cause it in a good way. So good luck for the rest of the season. Go check out the channel for the review and the preview and stuff before and after the game. And hopefully we'll speak next season. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, mate.